humanity is in danger.
Doctor Who Season 2's finale is set to be absolutely explosive and change everything. We've heard 101 articles and discussions from showrunner Russell T Davies on how he can't wait for people to see the finale, how it's going to reinvent Doctor Who, how it's going to be absolutely bonkers. And this finale is kind of the culmination of the Disney Plus era, with the very real possibility that Disney will be pulling out. This is kind of like a proper finale of sorts. Russell has said multiple times in interviews that Season 1 and Season 2 are one big complete story. Add in the 60th specials building up to this point as well, and we've got a build-up of a good number of years now. But today we're going to be breaking down this cast list and synopsis because there's a couple of returning faces. I'm sure there are more returning faces, or at least a returning face, or a returning villain that's not been mentioned on the list yet. But there's a couple of interesting, fun returns as well, so we're going to take a look at all of that and break it down. But first, we've only actually got one Doctor Who news headline that we haven't covered yet, and I should point out for those of you watching the video, as of recording, we're a mere couple of hours away from probably like 20 hours away from finding out who Mrs. Flood is. I am going to be doing, I think, probably like a live stream later today to discuss who Mrs. Flood is. Like final theories before the grand reveal. But a bunch of you watching this video will already know who she is. That won't really impact this video, other than you will probably know whether or not she's a big returning character. Let me know in the comments whether you guessed her identity correctly or not. But our first Doctor Who headline that's not strictly related to the finale is that Doctor Who star Ncuti Gatwa has been replaced as the Eurovision spokesperson due to unforeseen circumstances. So if you couldn't already tell from this article, Ncuti Gatwa was originally going to be the UK representative for this year's Eurovision Song Contest, which obviously would have tied really nicely into the Interstellar Song Contest episode. They haven't actually given a reason other than unforeseen circumstances, so we just have to hope that Ncuti Gatwa's alright. But Sophie Ellis-Bextor has taken on this role instead. With that out of the way, let's just dive headfirst into Doctor Who synopsis, time slot and cast list revealed for 7th episode, Wish World. Now obviously this is probably going to contain minor spoilers, so if you don't want any form of spoiler, leave. But I mean, what are you doing in this video if you don't want at least a minor spoiler? Nothing major, just minor stuff. In the new series, audiences join the Doctor, Ncuti Gatwa, and Belinda Chandra Varadasethu on an epic quest to get Belinda back to Earth. But a mysterious force is stopping their return, and the time-travelling TARDIS team face great dangers, ferocious enemies, and wilder terrors than ever before. That is not the synopsis for the episode, that's just kind of an overview of the series, I imagine. The BBC have confirmed that the 7th episode, Wish World, written by Russell T Davies, will air at 6:50 PM on Saturday the 24th of May. Now obviously, this is going to be the culmination of what I presume to be Mrs. Flood's plans. How many weeks now has it been, what's going to happen on the 24th of May, what's going to happen on the 24th of May? We're finally going to see what's going to happen on the 24th of May. With the episode available on iPlayer the same day from 8 AM in the UK and Disney Plus internationally. There's also a big chance that episode 7, this will be the last time we get an 8 AM drop for Doctor Who, which in a way is good because it's a very controversial time slot and I do think it's damaged the viewing figures, but obviously the second part of the finale, episode 8, The Reality War, is airing simultaneously. It's being simulcast in cinemas and BBC, Disney Plus, etc. all at around 7 o'clock, I think, UK time, or 7:30, roughly around there. The runtime is 44 minutes for this episode. 44 minutes. Come on, make it longer. I mean, look, we can't complain about length of episodes when next week is it's not feature length, but it's a special extra long episode. Come on, more than 44 minutes, please. The synopsis for the episode reads, "Traps are sprung." Okay, I'm going to assume this has got to be a follow-on from whatever the hell's going on with Mrs. Flood. And old enemies unite. Okay, that doesn't necessarily say returning, but it's got... Look, come on. it's a Russell T Davies finale. Look at what happened last year. There is 100% going to be big returning villains joining forces. Conrad's going to be here as well. I mean, we'll look at the cast list in a moment, but yeah, there's this unholy trinity. 3 villains: Mrs. Flood, Conrad, and someone. Let me know who you think the someone is in the comments. Doctor and Belinda finally arrive home to find a very different world. Okay, it's got to be Conrad's wish come true. Do you know what? Mrs. Flood breaks him out of prison. This is going to be like Conrad's wish world. If Conrad could have anything, he's probably going to be some sort of radical dictator, and I think all the little clues we were given in Lucky Day are going to tie into Conrad's version of reality. He says to the Doctor, like, I deny your reality. I think he will be fueled by the Doctor saying you will die alone and sad, boiling in prison or whatever. He's going to be fueled by that to create the opposite. And I don't know what that means for the Doctor. Maybe he's going to make himself a Time Lord. Maybe he's going to make himself the Doctor. But yeah, Conrad's going to have this huge bonkers plan given to him, allowed to him by Mrs. Flood. Can the Doctor see the truth before midnight arrives? Okay, midnight there, let's jump to the Doctor Who fanbrain conclusion. Is that tying in with midnight or the midnight entity? To be fair, I see why people would suggest this. It's literally a couple of episodes ago we had a midnight sequel, but I don't think. I think this is just... I think it's because the 24th of May is the day that something happens when it hits midnight. Maybe that's when something changes, or maybe it's forever the 24th of May until they save the day, or something along those lines. I think the chiming of midnight is going to signify a big change within whatever's happening. I'm so intrigued as to how this all plays out, because I think Conrad was like a really strong villain in episode 4. I think Mrs. Flood, there's only been one appearance she's made where I've been a bit iffy, which I think was in Midnight, because I didn't really understand why she was there, and it makes her feel less powerful if we're... But look, we'll see what's going on with Mrs. Flood. I'm sure a lot of you watching the video already know. But yeah, let's take a look at the cast list. Obviously, we have the Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa, Belinda Chandra, played by Varada Sethu, Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson, the evil Conrad Clark, played by Jonah Hauer-King, Otu Zufall, played by Atilia Akinci, Violet Zufall, and of course, Space Baby Captain Poppy, played by Sienna Robin Mavanga Phipps. Yep, the Space Babies are back. Is there another Space Baby? I don't know. I think it might just be Poppy. It's just so random. I don't know whether the Interstellar Song Contest will provide any more explanation on what on earth the Space Babies, or at least one Space Baby, who's now a space toddler, are doing, but... Shout out to the Space Babies, I guess. Obviously, we covered it in another video, but Anita Dobson said that the Space Babies episode, when she watched it, she realised how much it tied into the finale. I don't know what's going on here. Obviously, we've got Melanie Bush, played by Bonnie Langford, which probably leans into the idea... If you're going to bring back a classic villain, like, for example, the Rani, because how many theories are there that Mrs. Flood's the Rani? It makes a lot of sense to have a companion like Mel, who actually knows who the Rani is, who faced the Rani, who will be able to, let's say Mrs. Flood reveals herself as the Rani, Mel will be able to have the same reaction that Sarah Jane did to the Daleks and Davros in Stolen Earth and Journey's End. I mean, the Rani's probably less of a threat, but maybe not. Maybe we will have to wait and see. Not only that, though, we've got Shirley Ann Bingham, played by Ruth Madley. We've got Kate Lethbridge-Stewart, played by the wonderful Gemma Redgrave. Here's another bonkers return. Susan Triad, played by Susan Twist. Realistically, right, like, cool character, nice fun, but she is probably just going to be working at unit in the background, not doing much. But it would be cool if there is a final twist at the end about this character and something happens with Mrs. Triad or Susan Triad. Look, the TARDIS connections, it's still a little bit too convenient for me. Maybe. And of course, we've got Kate Stewart's side piece, Colonel Christopher Ibrahim, played by the wonderful Alexander Devrient. I wonder if we're going to see more of their relationship bloom. We've had little hints here and there. Producer Vicky Dello has basically confirmed they're going to be an item. But we might have to wait till the War Between the Land and the Sea spin-off to actually see their romance blossom. We've got Lakshmi Chandra, played by Nylia Alia. So this is probably a relative of Belinda, because obviously you've got the Chandra surname there. We do also know at some point Belinda's dad will crop up, but I don't know if that's in this episode because I don't think he's on the cast list here. But there has been an official announcement of the guy who's playing Belinda's dad. I say official, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was put out by the BBC, but his acting agency put it out and were like, oh my god, this guy's in Doctor Who. We've got Devika Babu, played by Josephine Lloyd-Welcome. We've got, of course, Mrs. Flood, played by Anita Dobson. Mrs. Flood, who will probably go via a different name by the time this episode comes out. We've got Val Ballum, played by Herman Burhane. Winnie Petheridge, played by Sam Lawton. Brian Dale, played by Joshua J. Parker. Carla Sunday, played by Michelle Greenidge. And Cherry Sunday, played by Angela Winter. That's a big cast. And a bunch of those are kind of new characters, I think. So yeah, as I say, I reckon this episode's going to focus on them arriving back on Earth after whatever the hell's gone down in the Interstellar Song Contest, everything being changed. I reckon we're going to see Conrad. Conrad got his wish. Conrad's in charge. I don't know where all these new characters fit in, but I'm incredibly intrigued. Let me know your theories in the comments down below. And as ever, if you did enjoy this video, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe and share. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below and subscribe to the official Confused Adipose YouTube channel.
I will destroy you!
She's not seen a single episode.
No, I've watched your episodes.
Keep these sonic screwdrivers.
What else am I saying about the film? Don't watch this one.